Hi Fam Bam, welcome to Healthy Hump Day. Today I have a super exciting announcement. I am giving my followers access at a discount to pre-enroll in the MOVE program. Check it out below. This is going to entail all of the formulas and principles that I used to teach my clients as a personal trainer, professional athlete, and yoga instructor to help generate movement so that our bodies can learn to be happy. You guys know that it's a big deal in my mind to have happy bodies, because if our bodies aren't happy, we're likely not going to be happy, and it's going to be very difficult to feel like we have the energy and motivation to really live life to the fullest. So I truly believe that our internal health, internal spaces is equally, if not more important for us to truly create a life worth living. So in the MOVE program, I wanted to give all these principles since the personal training phase of my life is done. And I really truly believe in that parable: if you feed a man a fish for a day, you feed him for a day, or if you feed him a fish, you feed him for a day, and then if you teach him to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Well, I hope that this program helps you guys learn how to fish for your health, learn how to fish for answers, to troubleshoot and resolve problems within your physical body, to help you get on a journey where you can actually take control and feel like you have a relationship with your body and understand what it is truly trying to tell you. I'm gonna be giving you all the formulas and all the principles that I've learned to navigate my own health, to increase energy and productivity, but most of all, to create a life worth living. So the MOVE program is just phase one of this entire program, which I'm gonna be putting together a life worth living, which includes the simplified space of our external spaces. And I really think that when it comes to our external spaces, what's really important for us is freedom. To feel like we're not just free in our mind and our perspective and our environment, but free in our time and our resources. And a lot of that comes down to financial resources. So I'm hoping to add more to the program if you guys are interested. So if you are interested, let me know in the comments below, because I want this to be the bulk of it, unless you prefer the bulk of it to be about decluttering our spaces and more home environment stuff. But really, I truly believe that if we have time and money freedom, we're going to be able to have a lot of intentionality and awareness that can go into our external spaces as well. And I want to teach you guys all the principles that I've learned to not only move from self-employment, but from self-employment to business and entrepreneurs. So if you are interested in that, let me know. That's the cool thing about this program. We're growing together. You're getting new stuff every single month. I'm giving you the exact formulas, routines, and step-by-step how-tos to actually produce these life-changing results. And with that, I'm going to move into today's video, which is how to make health and fitness simple. So when it comes down to health and fitness and a lot of things, including how to be a business owner and making your own money and simplifying life, it's not really so much about the what as it is about the how. How you do things makes things so much easier to obtain, rather than having to worry about the specific variables and how those variables connect and what they result in. If you just know the principles and the formula, the step-by-step formula in how to achieve those results, the what actually tends to fall into place. And that comes down to understanding these basic key principles. So one of the first principles I'm going to share with you guys is to move regularly. You guys know I talk about this all the time, but I want to break this down in the sense that a lot of us think that we need to take out a certain chunk of time out of our life to exercise, and we make it this separate event, and that costs a lot of energy and a lot of time and a lot of planning and all these other excess things that we feel like might be necessary to make it more beneficial, when in truth is it's far simpler and more efficient than that. If you move regularly the way that our body likes to move, then it only takes a few minutes here and there throughout the day. And it's something that you can incorporate without any fancy equipment, without knowing any fancy moves. We are going to teach you all these fancy moves and things in the MOVE program, because I think that exercising can create efficiency, but it's not about taking 2 hours and having those 2 hours incorporate going to the gym and having to get dressed and showered and working out with all these equipments. It just takes understanding how to incorporate this movement into your everyday life, how to pop down and take 5 minutes and create something that is really efficient and that's going to actually work on your metabolism, work on rebalancing your hormones, and work on increasing your energy levels. So one thing that you can do to start right now is identifying the things that you actually enjoy doing that causes your body to move. For example, when I dance, I can really increase my cardio rate a lot without being bothered by it, because I'm enjoying dancing so much that it doesn't feel like a task or a chore. It doesn't feel exhausting. What's the thing that lifts you up? It could be going out and gardening, it could be taking a walk, it could even be cleaning the house vigorously. Being able to identify the things that that you truly enjoy and that gets your body moving just a little bit is going to increase that level of capacity and that level of motion that our bodies need. And the truth is, we often look at domesticated cats and dogs like they're outdoor animals that need all this exercise, socialization, playtime, mental stimulation, healthy food in order for them to stay healthy, because if we lock them up indoors, they go neurotic. Well, the truth of the matter is we are essentially domesticated creatures because our industry, our economy, our way of living, our lifestyle has changed so drastically that our bodies and our minds have not yet evolved to be able to live here and thrive. So we have to really incorporate a lot of the same things that we do for our pets. We need to exercise regularly, socialize, get playtime, stimulate our intelligence, and make sure that we're eating really well. So it's so important to incorporate this through our lifestyle and to be able to just insert it where we can. And you're going to feel a lot happier and healthier. You're going to sleep deeper. You're going to feel more fluid, more energetic, and just overall healthy and balanced. So the next key principle that I want to share with you today is what I mentioned last week, which is understanding the balance of pH and blood sugars. When you understand the balance of pH and blood sugars, you don't have to really worry about so much what you eat, when you eat, how you eat it, because understanding how to keep this in balance leads to a healthy diet and healthy eating habits. So some of the rules when it comes to keeping a healthy pH balance that you can start incorporating right now is understanding how food is mixed when you eat it. If you think of your body or your digestive system as kind of like a beaker that you have in chemistry or something that you're pouring a lot of ingredients to and seeing what happens in the mix, being the food and the drinks that you're putting into it, it's going to change depending on what you're putting into it, what you're mixing it with, what the timing is of how that is, and what state your body is in prior to throwing all that stuff in. See, a lot of people look at food like an apple is healthy, but an apple could be unhealthy depending on the state it's in, how you eat it, what you ate before, and what you're eating. And really the easiest general rule of thumb is mono meal. And I'm not saying go out there and eat as mono as possible, but the more complex your food is, the more acids and different enzymes your body has to secrete to try to digest it all at once. And it's kind of an overload for the system. And that creates more of an acidic environment. Another thing that you can think about is how each food breaks down and digests. For example, fresh fruits and vegetables have their enzymes that are going to help break down this food and digest it. But if you mix those fresh foods with, let's say, heavy fats or heavy proteins, it might start to slow down or interrupt the efficiency of that digestive process. So sitting down and really thinking about what food combinations go well, doing a little bit of research, or this is what we're going to talk about in our MOVE program, or just simply asking your body how it feels and being able to troubleshoot is going to help. But it always seems easier to come back to simplify, then slowly add and see how your body adjusts. When it comes to blood sugars, the biggest thing that I have to say that has made a huge difference in my body is making sure that my blood sugars are balanced through my diet. And this just comes from the inability to balance with a lesser amount of cortisol as my body begins to heal. A lot of that is understanding how quickly things digest. When you eat simple sugars, those things shoot up the blood sugar levels and they absorb very quickly, and it causes this energy roller coaster to begin. So eating things that are more neutral on the glycemic scale, like complex carbs, especially brown rice, quinoa, and mixing those with vegetables, those things are going to help balance your blood sugar very efficiently. But if you do want to eat something like a piece of fruit or something that is high in sugar, try to make sure it's not refined. Fruit has fibers and minerals and nutrients that help slow the digestive process down. It's actually getting energy and things that it needs. Also, make sure not to overload it, and most of all, don't mix high sugar foods with high fat foods. It's just not a good combo, and it really whacks out the blood sugar levels. Third key principle I have on my list is recovery. Rest and recovery. This is a place that we neglect so much, but it is so did I mention so essential? And the reason it's so essential is because if your body is in a depleted state and you're putting a lot on it, and we put a lot on it, this is not natural for us to function and to live this way. It's actually very unnatural. So putting so much on it, and with all the toxicity levels and all the different stress levels and the cadence of life, the way that it is right now, we need to make sure that our body is in a positive recovery state, not in a depleted one. When you're in a depleted one, putting more on it or trying to improve it by exercising and eating well, it's not going to produce as an effective of a result if you're not in a positive recovery state. All it takes is trying to get good sleep. Now, if you're oversleeping, that might be different. You might need more movement in your life. But if you are undersleeping, which means you're getting 6 hours or less in sleep, and you've been doing this for a long time, you feel very tired and exhausted a lot of the times, or you just feel like you have no oomph or motivation sometimes, there's like mini crashes going on, then you need to get some sleep, like some serious sleep. And for the first month, it might actually feel like you're sleeping like 12 hours a day all the time. But what you'll notice is when you start to actually get sleep, you start to feel more tired because your body is starting to wake up to itself. It's starting to say, oh my gosh, I've needed this. And now maybe you'll listen. Now maybe you'll get more sleep, get more rest, relax a little bit more, and actually do something that balances out all of that high energy, high action with a little bit more rest, centeredness, and balance. So make sure that you just try to listen to your body. We talk about ways of how to journal this, how to identify and address any challenges, obstacles, or speed humps that might come along the way. That's super important too, because our body actually talks to us regularly, moment to moment. When you feel that little pang in your stomach, or you stand up and you're like, ooh, like I just feel like sitting down, but I gotta go, I gotta hustle. All these little feelings, if you start to get in touch with it and you can start to identify what it's actually trying to tell you, you can begin to address things prior to when they come or as they come. It's not that you're gonna be Superman or that you're invincible or you're never gonna get sick. I still get sick, but knowing how to address it and to get through it so that you're in that positive recovery state so that you can make a complete recovery and actually continue to grow and build in your life rather than just trying to barely survive, just barely making it through every single day. The goal is to generate that massive amount of energy and motivation for life, to feel like you just want to wake up and be alive, because that, I believe, is ultimately our natural state. But we do so much to deplete our body, and we don't understand these principles and the how we're living our life, how we approach diet and exercise, how we think of health and fitness, that we really overcomplicate what should be natural and so simple to us. So the last thing that I have to share with you that's a key principle is understanding the balance of all this. To balance this out in a way that offsets the imbalance of how we are moving forward and progressing and developing as a species, as a culture, as individuals is so important. And one of the questions that I often ask, that I think a lot of us have at least thought about once in a blue moon, is why is it we have so many resources, we have so much access to knowledge and self-insight and self-empowerment tools, and the rate of depression and anxiety and stress still continues to increase. The rate of craziness out in the world seems to not really be getting any better. The truth is, I believe it does get better. And we are all trying to get better, but we're also trying to navigate in this big ocean of what is actually going to make it better, along with a lot of noise of stuff that pulls and tugs on our heartstrings, our biological heartstrings, be it marketing and be it the things that culturally we're driven towards that aren't necessarily good or balanced for us. So to be able to know what actually brings balance, to identify that balance, and you guys know instinctively, you know, like sometimes, some of you are in touch, like you say, yoga brings me peace, or you like getting out and going into nature, taking a hike, having some quietude, certain things that bring balance or that sense of peace, that state of being in the present moment. When you sit and ask yourself and ponder on the idea, why does this feel so good right now, and see what characteristics it has that might be opposite to the characteristics that you experience in your day-to-day life, then you understand that your body and your mind is trying to bring the sense of balance. So taking all these key principles and incorporating them, weaving them in a simplified format into our current life today is going to bring that balance. And it seems like it might be a lot of extra, but it's actually like fine-tuning your car, right? If we neglect our car, we neglect the oil changes, we neglect to put proper gas into it, we neglect to wash the car, take care of the interior, it starts to break down a lot quicker. It doesn't last as long. These are the key principles that we're looking to fine-tune our vehicle that is allowing us to interact and to move throughout this world, to move through our life, and not only move through it, but to perceive it. And so we really got to take care of this. So a happy body makes it much easier to have a happy perspective and a happy life. It doesn't mean the problems go away, but it means that you're more well equipped to handle the problems. And that's huge, because if your body is worried about fighting its internal problems, it's not going to have much capacity, mind and body, to deal with any of the trauma that you might have had as a child, any of the issues that might be going on in your present life, any of the stresses that you're facing today become immensely more difficult when we're not taking care of the very thing that we need to fix those problems. So with that being said, I am so excited. I'm so excited to roll out with all the rest of this that I hope can help incorporate more of this balance and just access to the key principles that you need to be able to create a life worth living and just really cut through all that noise. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of all this. This is just amazing. I love the conversations and engagement. I learn from you guys just as much as you guys learn from this material. And I hope all of this adds significant amounts of value. Be sure to check out that program below. You have to get pre-access to get that discount prior to May 1st, and also communicate with me what you would like to get out. What are the things that you feel like you're missing to level up your life? Because I truly believe that it's not that you don't know how or that your efforts right now are not good enough. It just means you're missing an ingredient. It's like if you're looking to bake a cake, you could have all of the ingredients, the most perfect decorations, but if you miss the yeast or you miss the flour, you might not get the cake that you were looking for. So I always say, don't give up. Don't think that's not for me, that'll never be me. I truly believe that every single one of us has the power, we have the capacity to create a life worth living, to really enjoy life. I think every single one of us deserves it. You definitely deserve it. And I hope that in some way, all of this that I put together and share with you can help you gain 1 or 2 or 100 or 1,000 steps closer in that right direction. So thank you guys so much for sharing this journey with me. All of this helps me for sure on my journey because I feel so passionate about this, and I just love this whole process in general, and I just appreciate you guys for being here and connecting with me. It's amazing. I don't even know how to put it into words, but I am very, very grateful. So with that, remember, be good, be great. There's greatness inside of you. And most of all, be grateful. We have so much to give thanks for. I'll see you guys back here for Fit Flow Friday. I really want you guys to try it because it is a lot of fun. It's the next step to really generating that energy and to having immense motivation to live life fully. I'll see you guys then.